This is one of those longer format videos where we're going to take you through everything that happened in Arizona real estate back in the month of November, even though we're filming this in December. So we're looking backwards. We're going to see what kind of happened at this change of the month and then kind of predict some things moving forward. So if you're into that kind of data on the Arizona real estate market, you are in the right place. So let's go ahead and we'll get started. Okay, let's see if I can get this big for us. All right, perfect. Here we go. Let's look at the November numbers. Again, long form video. My name, by way of a reminder, is Katie Evans. I'm the owner and lead agent of the Living 48 real estate team here in Arizona. And this is one of those longer form videos. So we are going to be deep diving into all of the Arizona real estate numbers. So let's jump right into these factoids and kind of go through what's happening in the Arizona real estate market for you. Okay, our supply is measured in months, inventory in days. So these are two ways to look at how many houses does the Arizona real estate market have available to you right now. Our supply number went from 4.5 months worth of supply up just a little titch to 4.6 months worth of supply. And our inventory number actually went down just a little bit from 127 days down to 122 days of inventory. So we have a good amount of inventory, more than we've had in a really long time for our buyers to have a look at. Our active days on market, this number went up, you can see, just by a few days. We went from 95 days to 101 days, but our closed days on market went down by 2 days. So we went from 85 days on market to 83 days on market. Now, what I want you to see in here is that these numbers are encompassing every kind of real estate and every location in our MLS, okay? So we've got luxury homes, we've got condos, we've got manufactured properties, and we've got them in all the outlier cities and all these different things. So these numbers are going to reflect a bunch of different demographics and some subtypes of the market that would probably be more relevant to you if we deep dove into those numbers. But this is the broad big picture. So what I want you to see is, as a part of this, sellers specifically, as a part of this, if you are overpricing your house, it's sitting on the market longer. It is. Now, if you've got it priced right, again, we want to deep dive into what's happening in your specific neck of the woods. But that is one of the reasons why the closed days on market is less than the active days on market. Stuff is not priced right. Stuff takes longer to sell. Stuff is harder to sell right now because it's not ready for the market. There's a lot of conversations as a seller that you need to be having with your real estate agent right now. So make sure that you take note of those numbers, but understand that these are very, very broad numbers that we are talking about here, kind of across the board. Okay, now let's look at the opposite side, our right side of the screen here, where we've got all of green numbers. This is a really, really interesting kind of story to tell you here. So our active price per square foot, if you look at that, the number went up. It's at 357.02. This is, again, the one I want to point out to you, the sold price per square foot. There is a big delta between those two numbers, and that number is $294.76 a square foot. So again, pricing your property appropriately is a big deal. It just really is. Now, our average sold, that price point went up again this last month. So our average sale price right now is sitting at $596,407 and sold. Now, I really could have almost just made this a flat number, but it went up by just a few dollars. So I wanted to be, as accurate as I could be. So our median sold price did go up to $450,000. And that literally was just the teensiest of increases from last month. So that number is actually sitting really, really rock solid. And if we go down to the bottom here, where we look at the average sold over our last 12 months and our median sold over the last 12 months, this is what I want you to see. Our average sold over the last 12 months hit another record all-time high. So here we are at $599,940. That was our average sold over the last 12 months. Now our median sold held solid again at $450K. So these are really, really great, interesting numbers for you to be aware of. Buyers and sellers, pay attention to this part. If you look at the very last, you'll see our appreciation. It's a price per square foot appreciation number. For the last 12 months, last month, this number went up again. So over the last 12 months, we were sitting at 1.8% appreciation. The last 30 days, 1.6% appreciation. Last month, it was slightly lower numbers, but still in the positive range. So what I want you to see is we're settling out. We're kind of flat right now. You are not seeing that runaway appreciation that we have seen in years past. but you're not seeing it fall through the floor either. So sellers, overpricing your house is going to put you in that active price per square foot and in that longer active days on market price. So if you want to get the house sold, you need to listen to your agent who's going to help you understand where your market is actually at. And you need to be reasonable with that. But what I also want you to see, buyers pay attention, is that you're not losing your equity. Okay? We are flat. We're solid. We're flat. You're not falling through the floor. All the equity that you've gained over the years, it is there and you're doing fine. But you're not running away. You're not being able to sell for just willy-nilly whatever price you want to pull out of this guy. You do have to meet the buyers where they are at. Buyers, here's what I'm going to tell you. We're solid. We're not dropping through the floor. So if you're waiting for prices to decrease, that's going to be a challenge for you. If you're waiting for interest rates to decrease, here's the challenge with that. As we're still seeing positive appreciation on properties right now, the prices continue to go up. As soon as those interest rates drop, you're going to see more competition. The more competition, the more it drives prices up. And those interest rates are not going to drop enough to make a big difference in your monthly payment versus buying now, where you have more negotiating power, to buying later when you have less negotiating power. All right. So I really, from the bottom of my little boss mom heart, want to tell you that waiting is not your best strategy right now. Now is a fantastic time to buy in the Arizona real estate market. We do not see anything on the horizon that is going to make this a better market for you in order to buy. If for some reason the interest rates come down and you've already locked in a great house, great. Then you can do a refinance if it makes sense at that point. But if you can afford to buy right now, my suggestion is now is a great time to do this before the competition starts to increase. All right. So that is my boss mom wisdom for you on that. So let's jump over and let's have a conversation about a few other numbers at this point. More about like what the actual numbers are out there. So we talked about our active listings, our available listings. So we're ending out 2025. No, so we're going into the month of December now. And we have 24,000, this is again, all the MLS wide, we have 24,603 available listings for December. Now that is down 5% from November, but it is also the ninth consecutive month that we have recorded the most listings to start the month in like 10 years. Houses are there, folks. We have things to choose from. And that is, I think that's really important. Now, here's also something that's really interesting. If we pare that down to the single family residents and take everything else out, the active single family residents number fell 9% month over month. So now in that category, we have 17,909. And our new builds that they're listing, not all new builds are listed on the MLS, but the new builds that they're listing on the MLS are holding really solid, about 2,686 available. Now, again, that is not everything, but that's what's showing in the MLS. So that's about 15% of that single family property demographic. Like that's 15% of that number. So that's what I want you guys to know about. Now, let's see. What do I want to tell you here? Under contract. In the month of November, we actually saw 7,271 properties that went under contract. Now, that was a decrease of 2% month over month, but it was up 8% year over year. And it is the fourth consecutive month with more than 7,000 properties that went under contract since 2021. Yeah, that's right. I said the year right. Sorry. Yes, sometimes I hear things in my head that are different than what come out of my mouth. So what I want you to know, though, also with that number is of those 7,000 plus properties that went under contract, there was a fallout rate, meaning they got into inspections, whatever happened, but 17% of those, so 1 out of 6 of those properties fell out and had to find themselves a new buyer. All right, so that is very common right now in the market that we're in. Is that because buyers have choices, because they're finding things, deferred maintenance and different things in their inspection process, they are choosing to walk away from the agreement to go find another house. So again, sellers, buyers have more negotiating power than they have ever had. And you need to be prepared to make sure your house is ready to go to market, to make sure that you're willing to do some of those repairs and some of those things that the buyers are insisting upon right now. That's what I want you to know. Now, another really interesting number is how many canceled. Like, sellers just got tired or frustrated or whatever and said, I'm out. All right. Now, some of those probably have come back to market, but through the month of November, we had 31,000, again, all of everything, 31,919 listings that have either expired or canceled. And those had an average cumulative days on market of 129 days. So after 129 days, people got tired or their listing agreements expired, whatever. They're like, I'm out. So in November, over 3,000 people were like, I'm out. So there's 3,000 people that just came off the market. Now, again, some of those will have come back, but that's how many left. Now, our closed sales in November, we ended November with 5,400 closed. Changed hands of ownership. Now that was down 13% month over month, and that's pretty normal for seasonality. So it's kind of a larger drop than is normal for us, but it is kind of a part of our normal seasonality. So not terribly concerned about that number right now. But this is the second lowest closing November since 2014. All right. Now, we talked about the decline in our median days on market. And so we went from 62 days on market in September down to 54 days in November. So you can see things have been speeding up a little bit over the last few months. And just to make sure that you're aware of this, in October, we had over 11,000 properties that did a price reduction of at least $100. Okay. Now, of those, 4,254 of them had a price cut of $10,000 or more. And the median cut for those houses was actually closer to 24,250. All right. Sellers, you're starting a little high. And because of that, you're having to come down quite a bit. And 24,000 in a reduction is a little bit painful, but that's how those are playing out right now. Okay, so our average sale to list, once they finally get it to the right price, 97%. So at the right price, you're still negotiating. Our listing success rate right now is at 63%. And let's see, our FHA eligible supply right now is at 2.9 months. All right, so if you have an FHA eligible house, just be aware you don't have a ton of competition out there. So as always, I want to remind you that all these numbers we just talked about are the huge Arizona macro market. The name of the game right now is it is very micro. It is neighborhood specific. It is school district specific. It is even zip code specific. So the numbers that we just talked, the trends we just talked about may not be applicable to you and what's happening in your area. Trust me, Gilbert is way different right now than Apache Junction. All right. And lots of different subsets in the market right now. So I want you to be very, very aware that you need to talk with a real estate professional that understands your local market and can really dive into the numbers that are applicable to you, because these are going to be different for your city, your zip code, and your neighborhood. And so if you are wanting a more detailed look at what's happening in your neck of the woods, just reach out to us. Let us know. We'd love to dive into those numbers. That only educates us a little bit more as it educates you as well. So it's a good practice for us, and we do not mind exercising that muscle. So if you haven't already, we would love it if you would subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on all of our social medias, give us a comment, put a question in the comments below so I can get back to you and answer that. Or if you have something that you'd want to have a conversation offline, just send me a DM and I'd be happy to get back with you on that. But as always, we are here to be a resource for you, to help you with all of your real estate related questions. We do work with different agents around the country. And so I can help you find an agent wherever you are located right now to help you in your neck of the woods. And that will be something that I love to do as well. So thank you for watching this video. And as always, we'll catch you on our next video.